from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
The latest on the COVID-19 vaccination process locally, and Henrico Police arrest a man in connection with a murder in Varina. We'll have the latest in today's Henrico News Minute. It's Monday, February 15th, 2021. It's brought to you today by Henrico County.
And now for the news.
Well, if you are eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine, but you have not yet pre-registered for it, you are not currently able to do so. That'll change tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. when the Virginia Department of Health launches its new statewide pre-registration system that will replace the individual systems that have been created by local health districts statewide, which are extensions of the VDH. All those local systems shut down as of Friday at 5 p.m. so that state officials could gather, sort, and deduplicate all existing information and then load it into the new system. Only Fairfax County, the state's largest locality, has opted to continue using its own system. Now, once the new system is online, you'll be able to access it through the same local health district web pages, just as you've been able to do so in the past. Locally, you can find it at vax.rchd.com when it goes live. Officials hope that the new system and a new 750-person statewide call center that's also coming online soon will streamline the pre-registration process and also improve communication between citizens and the health department while providing an easier way for Virginians to find answers from real people to their COVID and vaccine-related questions. The new system also should relieve some burdens felt by the local health districts by directing questions from the public to the call center, which also will be able to address callers in more than 100 languages, and by providing an email confirmation and weekly email updates for each person who pre-registered. That's been a common complaint so far from many folks who have pre-registered but wonder whether their registrations actually were accepted because there is no email communication. So far, at least 117,000 people in Henrico and Richmond who are eligible in Phases 1A and the first portion of Phase 1B have completed interest forms, and more than 40,000 of them have not yet received their first doses of vaccine because the Richmond and Henrico health districts jointly receive only about 6,300 in total each week. State vaccine coordinator Danny Avula, who's also Henrico's health director, said that the state ultimately had planned to implement a statewide system, but just figured it would have more time to do so. The decision by the state to expand Phase 1B to seniors 65 and older instead of just those 75 and older doubled the potential size of that group, which Avula said created a need for accelerated solutions and more complicated issues. Virginia's getting about 130,000 doses of vaccine each week from the federal government, while CVS is receiving another 26,000 for use at 36 of its stores within the state, including one in Henrico. Avula said that within 3 weeks or a month, it's likely that a number of other Virginia retailers such as Walgreens, Walmart, and Publix will begin offering vaccinations. He also expects the state to begin receiving doses of a third vaccine from Johnson & Johnson, perhaps as soon as the first week of March. The FDA is expected to grant emergency use authorization for the vaccine February 26th. You can read more on this topic at henricocitizen.com by clicking COVID-19 and COVID-19 vaccinations. Yesterday, Henrico County reported just 66 new cases of COVID-19. That was its lowest single-day total since December 3rd, when the same number were reported. On Saturday, Henrico reported 110 cases, and Friday 141. The county's 7-day average number of new daily cases is all the way down to 110. Henrico has surpassed the 20,000 case count, now reaching 20,315 during the pandemic, with 813 hospitalizations and 358 deaths. 7 hospitalizations were reported between Friday and Saturday, but none yesterday in the county related to the virus. 1 new virus-related death was reported Friday, but none during the weekend. Now, testing in Henrico has decreased over the past month from a peak of about 2,600 a day 1 month ago to about 1,900 a day now. The percentage of people who test positive also has decreased. The 7-day positivity percentage for PCR tests in the county is now under 9% at 8.9, and the same percentage for antigen or rapid tests is all the way down to 6.9%. Just about 16% of Henrico's population has received at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccine. In total, 53,105 people have received at least a dose, and more than 11,500 are now fully vaccinated. Henrico Police have arrested and charged a 42-year-old county man with second-degree murder in connection with what they have termed a domestic incident in which a 35-year-old Henrico woman was killed in Varina on Friday. Michael L. Thurston Sr. is being held without bond at the Henrico jail in connection with the killing of Tabitha A. Inge. It happened in the 6900 block of Holland Street in Varina just before 4 p.m. Friday. Police found Inge with obvious signs of trauma, and she died at the scene. Police have said that they are not seeking any other suspects in connection with the incident. Henrico County Schools would receive up to $307 million in state funding this year and $318 million in next year's budget under House and Senate budget plans now under consideration. Both budgets would direct about the same amount of money to Henrico, but legislators will have to reconcile other key differences in the biennial budget after each chamber's appropriations committee passed the latest amendments on Wednesday. Both the House and Senate budgets focus largely on funding toward COVID-19 responses, including money for equitable and effective vaccination efforts, contact tracing and testing, and PPE. A number of differences will need to be addressed before Governor Ralph Northam can approve a new 2-year plan. Among them, expenditures in education, where the House version of the budget recommends a 5% raise for teachers in the coming fiscal year, while the Senate budget calls for a 3% raise, but not until the second year. There are also differences in the proposed budgets for transportation, capital outlay, health and human resources, and reserve funds. You can read much more about those and other budget issues at our website right now, henricocitizen.com, by clicking on News and then General Assembly. Today's Henrico News Minute has been brought to you by Henrico County's Broadband Survey. Henrico County is gathering information about internet access and speed in various locations throughout the county and needs your help. You can visit speedtest.henrico.us to participate.